What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be looking at a variety of things, more of a discussion video, and we're going to be looking at the Maple Leafs lineup and interchanging pieces that could be traded, because I do believe that the Leafs have trade options, and I want you guys to talk about them in the comments, who you guys believe could be the best options to be traded. I'm going to show you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about a new assistant coach joining the Leafs bench, but ultimately we're going to be talking mostly about trade and news regarding those things. And this is going to be fun, okay? So leave your comments down below. If you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter if you want. I'd greatly appreciate that. I also do apologize. I'm sick once again. I played baseball outside in the rain, and it messed me up, okay? I've been sleeping for the past couple days, but I've got a nasty flu. We are going to be talking about the Maple Leafs today. Hopefully that cures me a little bit. First, I want to talk about Derek Lalonde joining the coaching staff, or Lalonde or Lalonde. I've heard people say it differently. I've always thought it was Derek Lalonde, but again, whoever, like, who cares? It's completely up to you, I guess, how you pronounce it. But the thing that's important about this is that back-to-back cups in 2020 and 2021 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has a ton of experience. We've watched him on Sportsnet. He spoke very highly on the Maple Leafs at points. He also was able to pry the Leafs apart a little bit during some of his appearances as well. But what I thought was interesting from Steve Dangle was how excited he was about this move. And at first I was kind of on the fence about it, but seeing other people be excited about this and talking about it makes me think, okay, maybe this is a good option. We lost one of our assistant coaches to the Kraken, I believe. So you're going to have to make a replacement. This guy has a lot of experience, back-to-back cups with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Might help us a little bit more of the division knowledge that he would have, some insight on Tampa Bay that could help us be very successful. But again, it's a coaching change that is not the head coach, so hopefully it doesn't make too much of an impact negatively on the team. But ultimately, we're here to talk about trade and news and things like that. So let's just kind of bring everybody up to speed, okay? There's been a few talking points that probably will get its own videos at some point, but we're mostly going to be working with Puck GM on Puckpedia, okay? So you can see I've made some moves there, but we're not going to look at that just yet. I want to first bring up the fact that Morgan Rielly's name has been floated around, but apparently the Leafs will likely not ask him to waive his no-trade clause, which, again, he has every right to say no if they did. The Leafs, we will talk about some other minor names that are involved in this. Also, the Mitch Marner sign and trade saga. We'll make another video on that as well. But as it stands right now, I don't believe that's going to be an option. Apparently, Mitch's camp doesn't really care about that 8th year. He's going to get paid a ton of money regardless of where he goes on a 7-year deal anyways. So I'm sure that 8th year, sure, it's more money. It could potentially be more lucrative for him. But I guess at this point, the sign and trade is not likely. And also, I guess the Leafs are still not out of it. Mitch Marner will consider the Maple Leafs one of the teams that he would, go to or come back to in this case, come free agency. But I'm sure that's just what he's saying, so that way everybody doesn't turn on him. I just don't see a world where Mitch Marner is back on this team. So that gets me to this. Now, you guys are probably seeing I've signed John Tavares. I've signed Steven Lorentz, okay? I've also re-signed Matthew Knies. So you're going to see that 8 years, $8 million. That's been a rumored price on Matthew Knies. Again, I'm not saying that these things are going to happen. If the Leafs truly want to lock up Matthew Knies over 8 years, it's probably going to be in the $8 million range. I wanted to kind of overshoot the money a little bit to show you guys how the Maple Leafs would have to make cap room and have to make themselves some space. Steven Lorentz, I think, is a no-brainer to bring back. I think that he added a lot of value for the Leafs. I think 1.5 is a little bit more expensive than I would have given him. But again, for the sake of this video, I want to try to overpay a little bit so that way if it comes through that he's going to get less money, then the Leafs would have a little bit more to play with. And the same goes for John Tavares. There's been a lot of talk about how in the open market, Johnny T might be worth 7.5, maybe even 8, okay? I don't think the Leafs should give up on him if they can do a Tanev-like deal with him. If they can get it below 5, that's even better. But at the rate that he scored last year, you probably still have to give him that $5 million, because I think the Leafs need more centermen, and maybe if they can find another one, they could drop him to 3C and a $5 million third center that can score 30 to 40 goals. I'm probably going to take that. So that brings us to this. This is basically the exact same team with Easton Cowan called up and the same defenseman, same goaltending tandem. But let's just say the Leafs really don't ask Morgan Rielly to, go away from his big contract, and the Leafs don't trade one of their goalies, which I would imagine they're not going to. This is where it gets tricky, okay? So the first order of business, if I was Brad Treliving, would be to send Ryan Reeves to the minors. That would give the Leafs over $11 million in cap space, because most of his deal would be eaten down there. So they would have $11 million to replace one spot. But the Leafs aren't going to be going into this offseason thinking, let's just replace one spot. The Leafs need to make a few moves that will ultimately allow them to get a bunch of cap space. And that's why they need to probably trade guys like David Kampf and Calle Jarnkrok. And for that, I'm going to add these guys both to a trade. And we're going to go up here and we're going to go to trade. Now, I'm not saying, again, I'm going to look in the camera. I'm not saying this trade is going to happen. For the sake of this video, I'm going to trade them to the Anaheim Ducks for like a late draft pick or even a 5th, whatever, just to show you the cap situation. This isn't what's going to actually happen, but I'm just going to show you guys what kind of money it opens up for the Maple Leafs, okay? So I've traded Jarnkrok and Kampf, and that now gives the Leafs almost $16 million to replace a few spots. And the reason why this is significant is because now you can plug and play with a few of your wingers, a few of your centermen, and you're likely going to give Cowan a chance on that third line. You're probably going to want Scott Lawton around there too. And then, like I said, you probably would like Bobby McMahon on that fourth line with Johnny T on the third line center spot. But see, this is where I'm trying to tell people that it's a little bit difficult, because now you've got to replace a few different spots. And I'm not saying this is how the lines are going to look. Again, you can move stuff around however you'd like, however you feel would be best. Maybe Lawton's on the fourth line, maybe Lawton's the fourth center, maybe he's the second center, which I personally would not do. But the Maple Leafs having around 16 million, maybe more if they don't give, Lorentz a deal, or if they do, it's cheaper, or maybe even if John Tavares takes 4.5, that gives you an additional $500,000. Maybe Matthew Nyes does a bridge deal for like 3 or 4 years at $4.5 or $5 million. That opens up a ton of money for you. The Leafs are going to have to go out there and get creative. And this is kind of what I wanted to show you guys again. They will have spots. And who's to say Tavares even comes back? Who's to say if Lorentz even comes back? Maybe they re-sign Nick Robertson to a cheap deal because he scored like 15 or 16 goals last year, just to get that scoring presence in there as well. Who's to say they don't trade Morgan Rielly and open up $7.5 million and bring back a defenseman that only costs about 5 or 5.5? There's a ton of possibilities, and I'm not saying to go out there and just sign the top guys. They need to go out there and find guys that can get them over the hump and be playoff leaders and be playoff guys that are physical but can also put numbers on the score sheet. Again, would that allow you to sign a guy like Sam Bennett? I don't know if the Leafs should do that. Again, I don't see his value outside of Florida. I think that he has a perfect fit in Florida. And again, if you sign him, it looks like he's going to get $10 million in the open market. So that would give you less than $6 million to fill 2 spots. And then you're basically saying, we traded Mitch Marner for Sam Bennett. Again, if you like that, that's great. But you can't just make one move. You have to go out there and make significant changes. So you might have to get a couple guys that are in the $3 to $4 million range, and then spend big on one big guy that is a proven winner that could score some goals for you. There's a lot of options. Again, who's to say that the Leafs don't approach William Nylander to be traded? It's possible. It's very possible. So that's why I want to leave it over to you. This is the first of many videos we're going to do like this, showing you the possibilities of who could get traded and what it would open up for the Maple Leafs cap space wise. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Again, comment down below. And yeah, let's see what the Maple Leafs do. This is just part one of a crazy offseason. Peace.